Imagine being locked inside a stone temple for 22 years, lit only by starlight and a few sputtering oil lamps. You fast for 40 days, breathe in rhythms that rewire your mind, and walk out able to read the hidden code that stitches the universe together. Sounds like a Jedi training montage, right? Except the scrolls that describe it are older than anything George Lucas ever scribbled, and the graduate's name was Pythagoras. Stick around, because everything you think you know about the Jedi just stepped out of a forgotten hallway beneath the Great Pyramid. We all grew up believing Jedi are space wizards in a galaxy far, far away. But hieroglyphs at Abydos tell a different story. They speak of the Jedi, an order of priests who kept Egypt's balance by mastering a subtle force they called Ka. Same vowels, same job description, guardians of harmony, sworn to protect pharaoh and peasant alike. Coincidence? Maybe, until you notice the Jedi staff looks suspiciously like a lightsaber hilt minus the glow stick part. Getting into the Jedi Lodge wasn't a weekend webinar. Applicants survived a brutal 40-day purification. No bread, no beer, breathwork that would make a Navy SEAL sweat, and nightly chants that lit up gamma brainwaves centuries before neuroscience had a word for them. Past that and you move to Diospolis. Think of it as the original temple on Coruscant, where lessons covered sacred geometry, harmonic ratios, and the Merkaba, the human light-body vehicle. Rumor says graduates could project their minds beyond physical space. Out-of-body tourism, anyone? Around 535 BCE, a young Greek rolled up to the gates of Thebes carrying recommendation letters from the tyrant Polycrates and King Amasis himself. The priests were skeptical. Outsiders usually flunked the humility test. But Pythagoras stayed 22 years, memorizing chants that tuned heartbeats to planetary orbits, studying flower-of-life diagrams etched in granite, and learning that every soul migrates like notes sliding up a musical scale. When he finally sailed home, he carried more than triangles. He carried the operating system for Western esotericism. Back in Croton, Italy, he cloned the Egyptian template. Outer listeners, inner mathematicians, and a tiny electee who guarded the real fire. Initiates wore white, kept silent, and lived communally so strictly that later legends claimed they could calm storms, heal wounds by whistling specific frequencies, and recall past lives as easily as scrolling a playlist. Force healing and Jedi mind tricks? Pretty much. Hollywood didn't invent the Prime Directive. Secrecy was baked into the Jedi Oath. Knowledge moved orally, symbolically, and only when the student's moral compass aligned with cosmic order. Ma'at in Egypt, the living force on screen. Lucas borrowed the monomyth from Joseph Campbell, but Campbell himself drank from the same Egyptian well, tracing the hero's journey through Osiris, Isis, and Horus. The Jedi robe, a linen priest's shawl dyed brown. May the Force be with you, a polite nod to, may your Ka be strong. If this thread of history is tugging at something inside you, hit subscribe and ring the bell, because every week we're reopening corridors in the Library of Alexandria that textbooks skipped. Scholars still argue whether Pythagoras really studied in Egypt, yet pottery fragments from Samos show him holding an ankh-shaped staff. Plato, his philosophical grandson, wrote that the priestly archives described a cosmic force binding all things, centuries before the first lightsaber prop was carved. When Alexander marched into the desert a century later, he demanded initiation at Siwa Oasis. Convinced the Jedi bloodline still guarded planet-spanning wisdom, Alexander died young. The knowledge didn't. Today's Special Forces units study breathing patterns lifted straight from the temple manuals. Neuroscientists map gamma brain states identical to those achieved by Jedi chant and gesture routines. Meanwhile, the Flower of Life symbol shows up on t-shirts and tattoo parlors, its original blueprint for constructing a light body mostly forgotten, until now. We live in an age that outsources power to gadgets. The Jedi, and their later Jedi echo, argue the opposite. Real power is internal, ethical, and tangled with every other living thing. Pythagoras summed it up, number rules the universe. But he added a quieter corollary. Character is destiny. Translation, your frequency becomes your fate. So next time you queue up a Star Wars marathon, remember the opening crawl hides a deeper scroll, one chiseled in granite, whispered in limestone corridors, and ferried across seas by a man who wanted humanity to awaken to its own force. Were the Jedi pure fiction, or did Lucas just swap desert stars for desert planets and hope we wouldn't notice? The answer is still vibrating in the symbols you just heard, and in the rhythm of your own heartbeat right now. Keep questioning, keep breathing, and may your Ka stay strong, always.